When we last left our adventurers, the party found themselves in the town of Wallowford, a farming community now in trouble by the local bramblewood that had sprung up in the last little while. They met the mayor, Chanel, who gave them the quest that many others had tried and failed at to clear away the bramblewood or find the source and stop it. The party made their way back into the forest and found many horrors, such as talking trees or corpses that were not quite as dead as they hoped they would. Eventually, they found their way into the middle, finding an old man reading a scroll that quickly caught fire and summoned a large shambling mound. The party went into battle and eventually slayed the old man and the terrible shambling mound, stopped the large pulsing crystal that is creating the bramblewood, and made their way back out to the fanfare of the town. After receiving 500 gold pieces, the party had a quiet night in at Lucy's hut, eating a nice meal, and Cariad received an invitation to come and train with Chanel the next morning. You guys can all take a long rest if you have not done it already. Just for podcast simplicity for the listeners, they are all level 3 now. So they have leveled up. We have rolled for health. They have gotten their various stuff. Morning comes to you all with birds chirping, a rooster cawing in the distance, and the farmers beginning their day. The day is yours.
So, Freya's gonna get up and she's gonna go downstairs. Just start eating breakfast.
A nice modest breakfast to set out. Fruits, a few vegetables, pancakes, bacon, eggs. If you want oatmeal, there's ways to make that too. Yeah.
Ramsey will probably get up not much later than that and do a nice stretch and perhaps take shower, since he is quite sweaty from the day before on the bramble and does not wish to enjoy the rest of the day feeling sticky.
Yeah, Declan's gonna go down and scarf up some eggs. Very hungry from yesterday.
You're gonna scarf up the eggs.
Scarf down some eggs. Then they're scarfing up later because he ate too much.
I like imagining Tecton eats them and then scarf up like baby bird.
I like to imagine that he doesn't even eat it. He pukes it up before he eats it, and he's just confused as to how it is he made eggs.
It's like
and then he eats
weird
them anyways.
Bird, cow, like it has to digest.
Why is that tasting so good? I think I'll have it a second time.
I'm gonna put it in my pocket, save it for later there. Squelch.
Does Fenlo's room happen to have a window to the outside and whatnot?
Yeah, it does.
All right. He's gonna get up. He's gonna hear the birds, and he's gonna get really, really excited, and he's gonna go look out at the birds because he wants to study how they fly down here.
Okay. You look outside. They flap their wings, and it lifts them up. Make an intelligence check.
Yay! It's intelligence. That's a 16. I forgot that this character has a intelligence bonus.
You stare at them for a while. You see them dip and dive and eventually land and take birdseed or a worm from the ground. And then they just take off seemingly. The one thing that you're very noticeable about is they don't have arms. Their wings are their arms.
He's looking down at his arms, just like, oh, jeez. Oh, man.
Gotta cut them off.
They built it halfway, you know? They were like, yeah, we're gonna make his bones hollow. We're gonna make him a real light boy. No, just give him arms. No. He's like, oh, he's gonna go downstairs all kind of just upset and whatnot. He wants to fly.
Just so disappointed.
Yeah. So disappointed in the fact that birds still function the same way as they do up in Celestin.
My day is ruined and my disappointment is immeasurable.
You have dashed my expectations quite excellently, sir. Well done.
At this point, Ramsey will probably be done showering, get dressed, and head downstairs.
And Cariad will also pop downstairs and just take a little... Start going for a little jog outside.
Like a little jog is like fair because like you make it down one end of the road and it's like 4 farms and that's the end of the street, and you're like, oh, and you jog back up the other way and you turn down a corner, it's another like 4 farms, and you jog back the other way, and then you jog down one more.
Cariad's not gonna go back to Lucy's hut just yet. She's gonna pop over to Rationale's, but we can see what Ramses was up to.
Ramsey, would you like to start?
Ramsey will, like, creak down the stairs, like, not really hiding himself. Probably can hear his, like, armor rattle, too, as he goes. And he looks to see, Freya and Tecton are both downstairs, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He'll go downstairs, like, good morning, Freya, Tecton. It is, a very refreshing morning. And he, like, puts his hands out and, like, kind of, like, cracks his, like, fingers in, like, a stretch kind of way. It is interesting to see all of us have very different morning routines. Are you two typically morning birds? Very much so, like to get up early, stretch, eat before the sun is up?
I know. My wife used to be, but I'm more of a, well, I guess, what's the opposite? A night owl, so to speak.
Different kind of bird, yes.
Yeah.
My patterns tended to switch, so I think because we're in a new place and more kind of I want to be awake as long as possible so I can do as much as possible.
Little more alert. Perhaps switching up pattern is good for brain even. Who knows? And with that, Ramsey will like pull a seat out and like sit down on it in order to like wave Lucy over and get a nice breakfast for the morning.
So Ramses, I was really admiring your handiwork yesterday there, taking down that large plant monster, and I was wondering where you learned that.
Oh, thank you, but perhaps I cannot take the credit. Cariad was the one to finally dismantle the creature.
I know in the end there, but you seem very skilled, and I don't know too much on Celestin, whether you would have experience in that sort of stuff, and I was just wondering where that came about.
I appreciate the compliment for starters. My parents, I am very gracious to say they have given me a very strong upbringing that allows me to possess many different skills and attributes, be it better or for worse.
That was very vague. I mean, like, what did you do specifically,
I am a man with many secrets. Perhaps as we get to know each other, we can talk more.
Alright.
Perhaps you would like to answer, where do you get your skills? Is it your many years of experience?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yes.
I've worked with stone my whole life. I know it like the back of my hand there. And it just gets to a point where, you know it so well that you can really get into its head, and it can get into yours there. And sometimes that happens to me.
Yes.
But yeah, why, you don't have to be so elusive here. And I think we'll find out eventually. And if it's anything shameful, I'm sure, that...
Elusive?
We'll just
shameful? I have answered both your questions in full. Well, I do not understand why such confusion arises from the conversation.
There's this... You can answer a question without really answering it, in a way. And I think you did that. But, hey, listen, we all got our stuff in the past. We don't need to go into it if you're not feeling up to it.
I appreciate your concern for me. Thoroughly I do. And then he turns back and, continues eating.
Tecton just, raises an eyebrow and goes back to eating.
Freya enjoyed.
Let's jump back if everyone's okay. Let's jump back over to Cariad. So, you make your way up to this large, well, it's not, it's big. It's a bigger house than most here. You go up to that kind of familiar, kind of like dark green door, knock on it. And unlike most times where you hear big footsteps, the door just like, ee! And there's, in like loose, kind of like baggy, like sleep pants, shirtless, the brown hair, you see the general store, like, worker. Like, almost looks a little, like, tired still, like it is in the morning. And he goes, hi.
Hello. Is Rationale here?
Yeah. Rationale! And, like, just screams out. And then you hear, yeah. The floorboards creak underneath. And then Rationale.
What race is the general store
human.
owner?
The tan skin.
Okay.
You see now that he's like shirtless, all the scars that kind of like led up through his neck and like on his arms like lead up through the whole of his body. He's been in a lot of scrapes. And Raishanel kind of steps in. She looks pretty much just the same. The kind of different underclothing and like overclothing is like different colors and stuff like that. But her leather armor is still there. And she goes, Karyad, come in. Please do step in.
Thank you. And I'll enter. I'll respect their house. I'll take my boots off and
The general
whatnot.
store owner like walks away. She goes, I'm glad that you're coming back to see me.
Sorry if it's
No,
early.
I don't sleep in.
So you said something about training.
Yeah, if you're interested.
What kind of training?
Depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for combative natures, or are you looking to improve your ability to keep your weapon with you, or are you looking to delve into some magic?
Well, I did drop my weapon. What do you mean, keep my weapon with me?
Come with me. She kind of leads you to like around the main staircase, and she opens like what could be like a cupboard, but has a deep inset staircase down it. And you guys kind of fall into this like stone basement, and there's people in there, and they're here to murder. No, I'm just kidding.
Karyad's gonna remark, well, this looks nefarious.
And then she claps.
Nefarious.
No, Raishanel
Nefarious.
claps. And then like twinkly little lights just like fa, and they all come on and like illuminate the room, and you see like a little training area like set into this room. There's a little like inset area for fighting, like a little fighting pit. There are various different weapons down here of different varied makes and kinds. There's like regular long swords, and then there's like elven long swords. They look very like plain. They don't look like they have runes or anything on them, but they're there for training. And she kind of jumps into the pit. If you're ready, I'll show you what I mean.
Karyad is just gonna be looking around in amazement. Like, how many weapons
A
are there?
lot.
Like an
Like it's
impressive
got
amount.
those
Like,
pin boards with all the weapons like lined up on it.
Karyad will just look at her own armaments, of which she has quite a few herself. 2 hand axes, 2 swords, a longbow, probably some other shit, if you count a crowbar.
I don't.
But, okay, well,
Jason Todd does.
she'll just kind of meekly hop into the pit.
Raishanel like looks at you and says, "Take a swing."
So I rolled a hit? Is that a... Okay. Roll with my scimitar. 18 to hit.
When you pull out your sword and go to swing, there's a bright flash of light, and then your sword is blocked with another sword, a short sword. It just like appears out of nowhere and like blocks it off from your swing.
What the bloody hell was that?
That's what I'm gonna teach you.
Was that magic?
A type.
Cariad's gonna look reserved, like she's going to shrink in stature. Raishinel, I can't learn
Anyone
magic.
can learn magic. It just depends on how willing you are to do it. When people push down at you and tell you can't, then you're gonna believe that, but I have seen the meekest person pull off the biggest spell.
I mean, I'll try.
All right. What precedes is probably a couple hours.
I thought you were gonna say montage.
This is a montage.
Everybody needs a montage.
We cut through different scenes of you guys meditating on the ground, and she's like, focus
Under a waterfall.
and you're like, and you're straining, but like the sword doesn't move on the ground.
Dragon Ball powering up.
The sword doesn't move on the ground or anything, and then it cuts, and then you see her shake her head, and it cuts away, and you guys are having a little brawl, and then she like kicks you in the chest, and you like knock out her blade, and you like turn to see it fly away, and then you turn back, and it's still in her hand, and you're like, what? And then she like slashes you, and you're like, ah! And then
People of Yarlford, lend me your
and then
power.
you get pushed down after you say that, and she's like, wrong.
Shit.
And then we cut back to you trying to like and like strain, and then the blade like jiggles a little bit, and you're like, oh, and then it like stops completely. And she's like, she shakes her head again. Every so often, more of the blade moves, or what follows is another piece of training as she knocks the blade out of your hand, and you have to like scurry to get it, and she like blocks every exit of this fight that she can possibly can to stop you from picking up your blade. And then as you're tired, the sweat is pouring down your brow. You have to push back your hair, and it stays because you're just so coated. And then it comes down to a all-out fight where she is doing everything in her power to overpower you, and she like knocks out the blade and then stops you from moving, and you try and crawl away, and she strikes you again and pins your shirt into the ground, much like the shambling mound you did yesterday. And as you like go to block an upward swing, you like and it and your blade comes to your hand, and you just barely block this blow. And you have done it.
Cariad will look at the sword in her hand in amazement, and then meet Raishinel's eyes.
Don't let down your guard, and she goes again.
Is that a surprise roll on me, or
it's a montage.
Okay, still part of the
montage. After you guys have like towels and drinks are brought down, and
drinking a tall glass of milk.
She goes, "It takes some time, but the more you get used to it, you can do this to other blades."
I can do this to more than one.
Should be able to.
And then she'll look at the short sword on her other hip, like she's already planning.
Because this gives you a lot of capability in combat. The ability to bluff your way into situations where weapons might not be afforded to you. Maybe you can use this to make sure that you have an easier time getting back in the fray if things go wrong.
Right, I absolutely already see the tactical advantages.
She takes a sip of her lemonade that was probably brought down, and she looks at you, and she goes, "Now that this has been shown to you, you have the ability to cast magic. I can't show you necessarily everything. There's a wide world out there. And I believe you have a friend who is more or less willing to show you how it's done.
Kariat immediately starts shaking
And
as she looks down to her hands and tears well in her eyes.
she looks at this. She doesn't make mention of this. And Rational goes, "Don't ever let anyone put you in a box. You are the only one who can say what you can or cannot do. Don't let yourself down."
Kariat's gonna leap hug.
She
Rationale.
very gruff hug. There's like a pat, but it's not like, oh man, like it's not deep and crushing.
It's not like
Yeah.
a coddling, but just like
Camaraderie
like
hug.
Yep.
A respectful
respect.
hug, yeah. Eventually you guys make your way upstairs and you find yourself at the front door, and she says, "If you and your party ever find your way in this area again, stop by.
Thank you. We will.
Remember what I said."
I will. Seriously. Thank you for
course.
everything.
Thank you for all you've done for us.
And Kariat's gonna turn and walk with just a big sigh on the way out.
The door closes. What is everyone else doing during this probably 5 to 6 hour montage?
Oh!
Where is Finlow? We have already started breakfast and he has not even begun to come downstairs.
I think I saw him looking at a bird earlier, just staring out the window. I don't know if he's sad or something. But
Just looking at birds again.
that boy's looking at birds again.
That is
It ain't right.
I don't know if that's a normal thing to do, but that's what he's up to.
Well, as far as I remember, up on Celestin, whenever I would see Finlow, he did like bird watching. I saw him when he was a young boy. I think he liked watching birds.
It's a perfectly respectable hobby. Listen, I'm not trying to get him down for it. It's just kind of strange for a boy his age to be looking at birds all the time instead of be getting a job.
Perhaps we
I don't know
can
why I'm on his
allow
ass
a few
today.
more minutes to look at birds, and then if not, I will go up and get him so that he will do something else so that he can look at birds.
Sure. Yeah. In the meantime, what are you folks thinking about our next destination, and more of our larger plans? Because I do believe we need to have a sit down with all of us when Cariad comes back from her run there.
Well, there's Wallowford that talks about. The shopkeep made it sound
Like it would,
undesirable.
like it would be disgusting.
Yeah. So, I mean, so we could or we couldn't. But I don't know it. I'm kind of partial to going to places and just seeing if people need our help.
I agree with Tecton. We should have conversation when everyone is here, but I do think that going to this disgusting city might be nice to see the difference in the location. From very drastic, hot, cold, black, white, good for perspective for us all, I would think.
Aye.
It's also a bit larger there, so we might get more, news or information about the larger world. See if I don't know, a better idea of what's going on down in the big old surface world.
Also, a little off topic, But Cariad is very good at keeping up with stamina if they are able to run for over 2 hours straight, do you not think?
It's been a while.
Very impressive. I will have to ask them how they have gotten such strong lungs.
It sure has been a way out there. Alright, I'm gonna go up and check on Fenlo.
I'm gonna go up and maybe do a little bit of writing.
I guess
And,
I will go up because I do not want to be left downstairs alone. So, Ramsey will pull out his chair and start heading upstairs.
Freya will go upstairs, and just because she can't help herself, she'll pull out some extra just pieces of paper, and she'll, think for a minute. And then she'll, pull out her spell book, start flipping through pages. Going back a couple. Maybe turning a couple more and things like that, yeah. And then she'll start writing on an extra page.
Alright. Ramses and Tecton?
Okay, well, I want to go to see Fenlo, so...
I think probably
What's Fenlo up to?
I think about an hour ago, he actually jumped out the window trying to fly, and has been trying to figure out how to get back into his room this entire time without, going through the main room.
Tecton, when you, look in, you, don't see him. And then you just see little, thingies attached to the window ledge.
I just walk up to the window, look down, hands on hips, and be like, "What are you doing down there, boy? What's going on? You're breaking in?
Well, no. We paid for a night's stay. Why would I break in?
Well, you seem to be entering through the window. That is not normal behavior. Here, reach out a hand.
Well, it was more like exiting through a window. Me and Cariad don't get along none, so I thought, let's make the morning easier on everybody and just, kind of avoid that potential social disaster and whatnot,
Well,
sir?
Listen, I don't want to get into the hot gossip and drama of the group here and conflict with Cariad. Listen, I was actually coming up just to ask you for a favor, I suppose.
Sure, what's the favor, sir?
So I heard you were a bit of a businessman there back in the day, and I was wondering if maybe you could hold on to my gold.
That's less of a businessman and more of steward type job thingamabob there. But I can totally do that. Just make sure to remind me what the amount is and whatnot. Otherwise, also, would you mind stepping away from the window so I can climb back up?
Oh, yeah. Come on in.
Can I climb back up easy enough?
Yeah, you can climb back up.
Can you do a backflip?
No, I ain't doing a backflip. What kind of crazy nonsense do you think I'm capable of? Just making sure windowsills and whatnot are nice and secure.
Just inspecting them.
Yeah,
Very normal. Very, very normal.
Yeah.
So, I take out a bag of gold, and I have 111 pieces of gold, and I give it to Fenlo.
Wow.
So, I don't care what you call it, if you're a steward or whatever, but I got a bit of a problem, maybe, with greed. I'm fine with my problem with vanity, but if my problem with greed really comes back to bite me, then we're not gonna have a fun time with this group here. There you go.
Is this like a thing where you're like, hey, I need gold to pay for health potions and whatnot, and then you take it out? Am I a bank?
Yeah, potentially, but you could also just use some of mine there.
No.
To everyone in the group there, Fenlo, I believe I trust you the most. So I'm very satisfied with this.
I mean that's a very nice compliment, sir. But like, what about Miss Freya and Miss Cariad and Mr. Ramses?
Well,
everybody other than me,
Listen, Fenlo, don't worry about them. You got the gold, all right.
Oh, okay.
All right.
How much was it again?
That was 111 PP.
Okay, 111.
All right. Also, I start to walk out the door, and we're meeting down there to discuss some bigger plans. So whenever you get a chance.
Oh yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Knock twice on the door, and then go back to my room.
Why did you knock twice on my Okay.
Ramses, did you want to do anything while you were up here because you didn't want to be alone?
The plan backfired. Ramsey walked into his room with his hands on his hips, looked around for a second, realized it does not matter if he is up or downstairs. There's still no one here, so he will go back downstairs and spend time with Lucy.
Okay. She goes, "Hi there."
Hello. Breakfast was delicious once again. Every
Thank
day you
you.
Impress me furthermore.
Well,
with
I guess
your abilities.
I'm very flattered. It is kind of what I do, day in and day out.
I can tell you are very skilled.
Well, thank you. What are you up to? You guys moseying on soon, or are you guys gonna stick around?
Me and my new friends, I do believe we will be heading out rather soon. We have not made any official plans, but the inkling strikes me that it will be probably today at some point.
Well, that's great. You can go and help other people in their needs.
Yes, I'm very much so looking forward to that. I am very excited about the different experiences we shall get from, experiencing. I am tripping over my own tongue.
Well, I mean, the world is a good place to get experience. So, especially.
What is your opinion of there is a town close to here.
Wallowford?
Yes, that is the one. What is your thoughts?
It's okay. It's more of a town if you want to go in, like, gamble and party. It turns people off really quickly if you're not into that kind of thing, but if you like seeing a bunch of drunk people have a decent time, being drunk or high, it's a great place. If you want to try and win some money, it's a great place. They have some good inns there, but mostly it's just, it's bright. I know Jamie doesn't like it. He's the one that owns the general store. He
had mentioned his distaste for it very thoroughly.
Yeah, he mentioned his distaste for it to everybody that he meets, honestly. But yeah, it's okay. I've been a few times. I go with some gal pals and we hang out and then we come home pretty much like day after if we can get a place.
So it is very much so not a very far journey away, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's a good day trip.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Lucy.
Yeah, no
would it be possible to get something to drink, perhaps something a little more flavorful than just water?
Sure.
Kofi?
Sure, yeah, definitely. And she goes about brewing a pot of coffee for you. Yeah. Eventually it's brought out and she sets out milk and cream and sugar for you. And
many thanks.
Yeah, not a problem.
He drinks it probably black.
Yeah, okay. She goes, so when did you guys start adventuring together?
We have known each other, we have known about each other, I guess, for all our lives, but adventuring together, no more than a few days now. Oh. But we work very well together in a group, I must say.
Well, it must have seemed very lucrative for you guys to just drop everything and start then.
Oh, we definitely drop, yes.
Okay.
That would be funny. I'm sorry, I told an inside joke. I cannot explain without it ruining the podcast.
Oh, ha 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 ha.
He puts his hand up and the one hand up does a little bow. I'm sorry. I will make better humor another time.
Okay. She goes, I gotta get a few things going for the lunch specials, so I will see you later.
Thank you again, Lucy.
Yeah, not a problem. And she...
May your business be fruitful.
Thank you. May your adventures be safe. And she goes into the back. At this point, Cariad, you cling cling enter into Lucy's hut again.
Oh, Cariad, you are back finally. That means everyone is in the tavern.
Yeah, sorry, I just had to pop into Rationals.
Oh, that is where you are. I had just assumed your lungs were able to withstand such running for at least 6 hours.
God, I wish.
How was Rationale? Did you get everything you were hoping to out of it?
I actually got quite a lot out of it, and I'm gonna hold out my hand, and I'm gonna summon my scimitar.
In a bright light, the scimitar clutched in her hand.
And Cariad is gonna look, like, expectantly ecstatic at Ramses.
Ramsey, has this excited look on his face, and seeing, Cariad's excitement, he gets up from his chair, making it, scrape across the ground, and goes, Very brilliant, Cariad! I can see you've learned very much, very fast!
I can actually do magics! And I'm gonna run and hug.
With sword out, you're like, yeah! You guys are hugging, and then you realize you're still holding the sword, and you, let it go, and it... You also realize, as you're hugging Cariad, Ramses, that they're very sweaty, very bloody, very bruised.
It just seems you have exchanged physical harm for your new skill, yes?
Oh, I'm very sorry.
Do not worry about it. There are showers upstairs if you wish to refresh, but I think you should say hello to everyone before you do. Ramsey is looking at birds. Ramses, that is me. I meant Venlo.
I'll leave you to your birds
No,
then.
not me, I apologize, I misspoke. I understand that would get confusing. I meant Venlo, he is looking at birds, and Hector went to go see what birds he was looking at.
And then I'll pop upstairs and I'll just let everyone know I'm back and that I'm gonna have a shower real quick.
Okay.
I'll just pop my head in everybody's doors.
Eventually you shower and everyone can reconvene in a place of your choosing.
You're gonna stomp down the hallway where everyone's rooms are, down into the breakfast area, just slamming my club lightly on the ground and walls, just being like, group meeting, just to get everyone's attention.
It's as Freya's writing. She's just in this zone of concentration. The first tap happens, and it's she's writing a very nice line of text, and it's she keeps going, and it happens again, and then she just waits. And every single tap is her head twitches. She'll get up and she'll stretch her back. She'll gather up her papers and her spell book, and she'll start to head down too. Oh, you just love making noise, don't you?
Yeah, that means you too, Freya. Get your lazy dwarven arse down here. And I want to sit at the large breakfast table and wait for everybody.
Cariad'll go sit down.
I think at one point there's a small scream, and then Fenlo walks in the front door covered in hay because he jumped out the window again.
Oh no, there's no hay, honey. You take 6 points of falling damage.
Oh.
You hear, crunch, cling, cling, and then Fenlo stands in the doorway.
Did I land in pots?
No.
What was the...
I think the crunch was you.
I thought the clang was pots that I landed in. I was oh dang.
Yeah, Lucy leaves all her dirty pots outside and she rebuys them. That's really why
Like
her,
Every
Pants?
day.
her
Every
business
day.
is falling.
Aw.
It's failing. She keeps spending the money.
He's
A guy in a green shirt comes up by and smashes them every day.
he's gonna cast prestidigitation on himself so he doesn't have any of last night's food on him and walk in the front door.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Oh jeez. I don't know. Discord.
Goodbye, my
Guys, for those who can't, you can't see what we're doing, but Kira just said, "Good afternoon," and Jack left the call.
Sorry. I
Hello, you
forgot.
paused there for a second. Was me saying good afternoon so scary? You
Uh,
froze.
Well, I mean, I wasn't expecting to see all y'all at once and social anxiety kicked in. Hi.
Oh, people scare you, I see. Perhaps we can do
No.
meetings more one-on-one at some point.
Perhaps you are like Bird.
What does that mean?
You'll live forever, but God, your heart's weak.
You could fly away at any moment, perhaps.
I don't.
Figurative
care much.
speech, of course, but you understand.
Anyways, who was knocking on the floor and whatnot? I could kind of hear it when I was bird watching.
That was me. Is everyone here? I'm counting 1, 2, 3. Cariad looking pretty rough. Jeez, did you go back in the forest there?
No, actually, I went to Reichenel's.
Oh, alright. Well, you can tell us about that
They
later.
have gone to Reichenel's and they
And,
have come back so much more powerful.
I have
It'll
very
do it to
exciting news.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
And then Kariad's just gonna summon her scimitar again.
Holy cow.
I've been taught out to do magics!
That was very quick. You're a fast learner, must be.
You're born natural.
Freya is going to shove the papers under her spellbook now, and just kind of put her spellbook on top of them.
Kariad is gonna look to Freya the most are you proud of me?
And she's smiling at you.
Can I roll insight on that smile?
Looks like we got
What are
another
you
wizard
trying
in
to
the
do?
group.
What are you trying to glean from the insight?
The meaning
Okay,
behind
make
the
me an
smile.
insight check.
Is that like a oh sweetie I'm proud, or is that like a as Liam so bluntly put it?
Make me a performance check, Freya. And then roll me an insight, Cariad.
It's not great.
Freya?
19.
It is a perfect smile of someone who is very proud of you.
I'm gonna run over and hug Freya.
Oh, alright.
With the sword out again.
Can you put it away?
Sorry, I'm just so happy.
No, you remind me of me when I was a wee one.
And Kariad's gonna blush at that.
Discovering your ability to cast magic is a very important time. It's a great feeling. I wish I could relive again.
Well, actually, I was hoping you'd maybe teach me.
I'm sorry. You want me to teach you magic?
Kariad's just gonna nod.
The widest smile, even better than the one she gave you at first, as just eyes sparkling, and she's gonna pull the papers out from under her book, and she's gonna say,
Study notes.
"Oh, I knew you'd come around. So, I've taken the liberty of getting a few papers ready for you here. These are like little lesson plans we could actually go through whenever we have any downtime. It's all up to you, really. So, based on your disposition, I don't think you could actually learn all the kinds of magic that I can learn, but we can actually start. Yeah, 2 schools of magic actually would fit your style very well, and I've written down some beginner spells that might actually benefit you quite that well, actually, and they might just make your swordplay a little bit better. It might make you a little more defensive a bit, so you can get in there, you can cast magic, and you can still swing that beefy sword of yours around.
Gariad, I do not mean to interrupt, but I do believe Tektin and us and everyone had. We need to decide what to do next, and perhaps we save for a little later. Do not mean to sound rude, just putting it out there.
And Freya's gonna take her braid and she's gonna be like, "Yeah, right." And she's gonna like retuck it behind her ear because it got a little crazy there for a second.
Cariad will sit down again, but
to-
she's just beaming.
And Freya has the exact same expression sitting next to Cariad.
Tektin, would you like to go ahead with this? I do not know where to start.
Well, if that doesn't just warm your heart there. So, folks, we're in a very dangerous place right now, okay?
No, we're not.
We are on the surface world. We have, we could be killed by a random forest or a random volcano or something. We need to keep our wits about us, and we need to decide what we want to do. So, listen, my vote is up for Wallowford. Correct? Is that the name of the...
I was talking to Lucy about
right.
Wallowford. She said this is a very good day trip.
Well, it's the only place we really know around, and we got to figure out where to go from there. Maybe we can get a map of the continent or something from there, and then
It's real hard to vote.
World's our
It's
oyster.
real hard to vote on options when there's only one known option.
Yeah, exactly right. So
Actually, we did hear about Rodal. I don't know where that is, but we did hear about it.
is that not a series of mountains somewhere that
I
we
have
don't know?
absolutely no
It was
clue.
where the
Yeah,
boys were. I remember someone telling us that.
Rational gave us a little blurb about Rodol when they were describing that liquor we drank.
Something about a
All
sad
right.
cloud.
So yes, that's the name of the brewery in Rodol.
Right.
Honestly, wouldn't mind checking that place out. But we don't know how to get there, so why don't we go to Wallowford, get a map, bigger map maybe of the whole continent, don't really know where we are. And if Rodol is close, why don't we go there?
I agree. But I wouldn't anchor myself to Rodon necessarily. Something might come along. But I do agree that we should go to Wallowford. Just because, why not? It's close enough. It seems bigger.
Ramsey puts his arms out and kind of shrugs, and he says, "I am up for as many experiences as we can get within the amount of time we are here. So, if Wallowford is the next closest experience, I say we should make haste and head towards."
Cariad nods in agreement and shoots a thumbs up.
Ramsey does the 2 thumbs up and nods and at Cariad.
Fred does 3 thumbs up.
Sprout, a Resident Evil style, sprout an arm.
It's like the dude from Spy Kids. He
Yeah.
has the hand on his head.
I think
You turn into a Floops Flugly.
That's a deep
I
pull.
love that you knew the name for that.
Ooh.
wow,
Who doesn't remember a
So,
Floozy?
that was a while ago.
I don't.
Floops
yeah.
Floozy? Those are his slutty hands.
Yeah.
The thumb thumbs. Those are his slutty thumb thumbs.
Was that what they were called? Thumb thumbs?
Well, there were thumb thumbs, which were just the thumb people, and then there were fluglies, which were the people with like misshapen faces.
And this is our Spy Kids cast.
That's your Spy Kids lore.
Welcome to
That's your Spy
Kids
Kids lore
cast,
today.
where we start playing D&D for about 45 minutes and then talk about Spy Kids.
Dab.
Our parents can't be spies. They're not cool enough.
Oh my god, we forgot about the one where they go play the video game. They're in the video game. With
Elijah Wood is the guy.
3D.
I'm the guy.
It was
and then he
3D.
dies.
Then he dies immediately, and then they go, but he was the guy.
I loved it so much, even though it was
The
so
second one was
bad.
my favorite.
I loved it. Yeah.
The second one.
So,
You're
it is
so
all-
full of shiitake mushrooms. Go ahead.
I'm sorry I derailed
It
this.
is only a day's travel to Wallowford. Do we need anything else while we are in this town? I have many days' worth of food in my bag if we get hungry.
I think we're okay on food. I have some rations stored up as well. But in terms of transport, perhaps we could get a number of horses or a cart or something, just to make it a little bit quicker to get to Wallowford.
I don't know how to.
Guess we
I
could
don't know how to ride a horse.
go see the mayor about that.
Perhaps someone is heading there today and we can hitch a ride. We could ask to join them and learn more about the locals.
Do you know anybody that's going there?
No.
Okay, well, listen, let's ask around for a bit. If you don't see anybody, we'll head on to the mayor. And then I guess the next league of our adventure will be upon us there. All right, I'm going to go to Lucy. I'm going to say if she's heard of anybody that's...
Leaving, you might have to go talk to some of the fruit farmers. They live up near the road. I'm not sure about their actual leave-in destinations. It might be in a couple days, but that's more their business, not mine. Yeah, that's probably who it'd be. Anybody else is it's gonna be until the end of the season.
We could also potentially walk and see countryside.
Where are you guys looking to go?
The town we were talking about.
Oh,
earlier,
Wallowford. You could make that on foot in a day. Horses are nice, but you have to pay for the room and board as well when you take horses into Wallowford.
Fiddler, what do you think?
What? I'm sorry. I was looking at birds. What do I think about what now?
But going to Wallowford through horses or on foot?
I mean, she did just say that, horses are expensive and they'd cut the time, but we just got gold, but it's your call,
I vote we walk.
Hey?
I'm alright with walking.
Fine. Okay.
All right, adventurers. Is there anything you guys would like to prepare for?
If Fenlo could maybe catch Miss Freya at one point, just because he saw that she was writing papers and she had her great big spell book out and whatnot. So she might be the expert on what he, I assume, found this morning. His Book of Shadows. It is a physical book.
Yep.
I assume he had. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Do you want it to be in a physical book yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe with less shadows though.
Sure. It's a bright yellow
if at all.
book with a red spine.
Hey, it's pretty. Hey, Miss Freya and whatnot.
She's still scribbling down just new, and she's got pen papers now at this point.
I think
She kind of looking in your direction but still writing. She's like,
So you know all about spells and books associated with them and whatnot, right? Do they just appear to you you got magic and whatnot, or do you got to make him, or how's that work and whatnot?
Well, I've had to study very hard for my magic throughout my life. This isn't something I know for some people. It's something they can just do, and it just sort of comes to them. But no, my books never just came to me. I had to read, I had to study, I had to write a lot for my magical capabilities.
So you wouldn't say it's normal and whatnot to, I just, there was a novel and whatnot in the general store, and I was reading through it, and they were talking about how a book appeared before somebody, and I thought, oh man, that's weird. Maybe Miss Freya knows about this. Yeah.
Does that sound like anything I might have heard about?
That fiction story that Fenlo was talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. She reads a lot.
Check.
Maybe she read about it. 16.
16. Like in just general terms, books randomly appearing have happened in history. There are definitely like magical tomes that appear in front of people and, claim to give them ultimate power, or can kill people by simply writing down their names, or tell stories, or like give information when you whisper into the spine and stuff like that.
I saw the play adaptation of that last one.
I'm so sorry.
It was okay.
I'm so sorry for your evening and the time wasted.
The guy who played the demon was good.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you're saying this book just appeared to you?
No. And he's gonna point behind Miss Freya and just say, "Man, that is a weird-looking bird." Try to distract her for a second.
Make a deception check with disadvantage.
Oh no!
Ramsey looks.
No.
I rolled a 2 and a 1.
Where?
Ironically enough, there's a peacock. Big plume.
That is actually very strange. Oh!
And
Noisy too.
That is interesting.
He's gonna cast invisibility on himself and walk out of the tavern.
Freya, you see him go.
Oh, I thought we were already walking.
Is there now just a floating book?
Anything that's holding turns invisible.
Freya saw all that.
Can I cast? Yeah. Can I? Yeah, I was looking right at you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, that's... Well, I definitely know you're not a wizard.
You don't know that? Oh, dang it!
Looking at the
NPC. Forgot that he was invisible.
He's 2 feet away from you.
Don't worry, love. Don't worry, love. I know you're not a wizard. But your magic definitely comes from somewhere. Now, you mentioned this book.
Well, and at this point, he does like fade back to visibility. That's fiction writers, crazy stuff.
Right. And if you've read the stories like I have, you'd know how dangerous those stories are. Don't you?
Say that
so
somebody
I'm going to
say that somebody didn't have time in his busy schedule to read all them books. What is the typical ending to those stories and whatnot?
Well, these books that come to these people promise them unbelievable power, and I understand that for some that's quite a tasty carrot to dangle in front of them. But it comes at quite a price. And I don't think that's a price most people can pay. So, I'd say to you, be smart with what you're doing.
Well, look, the book didn't even promise me. Wait, no, sugar.
It's okay.
All right, I'm gonna.
I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying, be careful. Just be careful. Even my magic, and I've been doing it for a long, long time. If there's one thing you take away from my advice, magic is dangerous. You must respect the craft. So be careful with your newfound abilities. Otherwise, I'm very happy for you that you've got these powers. You've kept me from going down a couple of times, and for that, I'm very grateful. So I won't say that these powers don't have the possibility to be used for good. And knowing you, I think you're on a good path. Just learn to recognize a bad path when it's given to you. Alright?
Just if you could look at the book one of these days and make sure that it ain't gonna eat my face off, that would be.
When we bed down tonight, if you want me to look at your book, I can. Okay?
Thank you.
Go get ready. We're almost leaving.
No, but, yeah. And he's gonna run up to his room and get his stuff.
Mama Freya strikes again. Make sure you have your coat. It's going to be chilly.
Does anyone need to go to the bathroom? We are not stopping.
Are we there yet?
At the next...
No, we just left.
You're not peeing on that bush. It's got berries on it.
Nay, we're not there yet.
Alright. Everyone gathers up their belongings, returns their keys to Lucy. She bids you all a farewell. And you guys head to the edge of town with a shoddy map that you guys got from the bedside table of the inn. And you begin on your way. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the interim of the Chronicles of Gaia podcast, Session 3, Part 1. I'm your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, and I'm here to just plug a couple things that are helping the podcast to actually be a podcast. But first, whatever platform you're on, it would be really appreciated if you took the time to subscribe or rate or like. It really helps push the podcast forward and get it out there in its full span of what it can be. If you want to follow our socials to find out any new updates or when new episodes come out, I know it's been pretty sporadic lately, so it's best to follow us on Instagram at cog.rpg, and Twitter is just cogrpg without that period in the middle. Now, to talk about some of the people that are actually helping with the behind-the-scenes aspects of our things. The theme song, the outro, and the midst is done by our wonderful friend Elk, and you can find them at Lord_Elk on Twitter, Elk_Lord_Art on Instagram, and for commissions, you can find them at Elk_Lord on Kofi. You might also want to go and find the cool character art and the thumbnail that makes up the podcast, and that was done by friend Sieron Thomas, and you can find him at the Shockwave48 on Twitter to commission him for cool other fun projects that you may be having. Lastly, there have been a lot of music that I've taken from tabletopaudio.com. It is run by a person named Tim who makes hundreds of tracks for your tabletop RPG games, and you can support him on patreon.com/tabletopaudio. All of his songs are amazing, and we've been using a lot of them, and he releases a ton of awesome new soundtracks all the time. So be a part of the thousands that make up his fan base, and go give him a follow and a like. All right, that does it for us this week. Thank you guys so much for waiting for the next episode. I know it's been a while because life happens. But I hope you guys like the rest of the episode. It's pretty fun for us. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye. Who would like to helm this?
I will go first, if no one else is taking the opportunity.
All right, Ramsey.
I'm gonna cast guidance on them.
I'll hand my map to Ramsey.
I'm gonna cast guidance on Ramses so that they get an extra D4 to whatever they roll.
Okay. Roll me a survival check with an extra D4.
Alright, survival it is. Okay, that is 16. 15 plus 1, and then the d4 I shall roll now. Rolling, so 16, and then I rolled 17 total.
Okay. As the sun begins to kind of crux in the sky a little bit as the evening is on its way, you guys have probably about another 4 hours or so before sunset's going to start coming in and taking it. You guys begin to head out, traveling to Wallowford. You guys start on this very, simple grass fields, kind of rocky path that's been traveled for a while. You guys walk and walk and walk. A bird passes. Caw! Caw!
See that one?
Yeah, no,
Yep.
no, I saw that one. I saw that one earlier.
Qua! Qua!
What's the name?
I named that one Jerry.
Oh.
After the old man.
After the man we killed.
I mean, it was a vulture. I thought it was a real ugly bird, so, you know.
You're naming birds after the men we
I mean,
killed?
I kind of like that.
That's a liquid.
It's
Very
They
metal
generally
of
live
you.
on in a safer form than an elf.
It shits on Tecton.
I'll cast prestidigitation.
Oh my!
I'll cast prestidigitation to make sure that it's all cleaned up and stuff, but I am gonna snicker under my breath.
Hate the fucking surface world here. It's always getting
There's
me
just
down.
so much shit everywhere.
Why is the ecosystem so diverse here? There's peacocks and vultures.
Oh, I like that bird.
All these fucking peacocks.
I do not know how you noticed it so quickly, and no one else did. It was bright blue and green.
That was a good peacock call,
Everybody,
actually.
everybody run! They're coming after us.
Oh good, they're very territorial.
They're so bloody pretty, but
They're so vicious.
Hello.
Yeah?
Would you like a feather from the peacock? I will get one for you.
No, that's good. He needs them more than I do.
Okay. And Ramsey looks back down at the map and keeps going.
Kario puts her longbow away.
I'm gonna immortalize my mother in this podcast forever. So this is a quick DM side story. We went to one of those zoos where they have all these big nice enclosures for the big jungle cats and everything, and they have the peacocks roaming, and there was a lovely feminine peacock, all the muted colors and everything, and it was all dainty and sitting, and my mother was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so pretty." And she pulled out her big camera and she was taking a picture of it. And then the male peacock thought she was trying to jump in on his territory. And so he went, "Ah!" and then fluffed up behind her. And she went, "Me!" and then grabbed me and used me as a shield.
Aww.
My own mother.
I went to
Thanks, Mom.
I went
Very
to a
cool.
petting zoo once, and they had emus there, not ostriches, or ostriches. Anyway, so I was rad. I was gonna buy with them, and I gave them peanuts, and then one bit me, and now I don't like them. In fact, I'd go as far to say as I resent them.
All right. So you guys, good story time. Good peacock story time. So, you guys continue down the path. Eventually, you guys find yourself into this wooded area. Not a bramblewood, a very normal, kind of like oak, evergreen, all different types of trees that kind of amalgamate into this small forest. And you guys begin to turn and curve and go in and follow this kind of same path that has been trotted down for years now. So it's very clear that people continue to pass this way. It is getting late into the night. Would you guys like to push on, or do you guys want to start camping out?
Should we find place to rest, everyone?
How late
It's
into the night?
getting
is
to like 8 o'clock.
Yeah. No.
Suppose we should look for firewood and stuff.
Yeah, set up camp.
We can start our day there instead of going in.
They
Okay,
didn't
huh?
make it sound like it was a town that you wanted to enter in the middle of the night and whatnot.
Fair.
I have a
Yeah.
candle to help us start fire if we have a match anywhere if you light it.
You don't
I
even
can,
you
I
don't
can
even
just-
use the match on the kindling.
Yeah,
you just light the
it's-
match with the
it's
candle
just
and
the
then
candle.
campfire. Survival.
I take
We don't need to worry about fire starters. I kind of am one.
Oh, perfect.
Cariad's gonna look at her tinderbox and just go and huck it over her shoulder.
those are
I
expensive.
will go get firewood then. And Ramsey, and he turns to Fenlo and says, Fenlo, come with me get the firewood, yes?
All right. I ain't very strong, but sure.
Since they're going to get firewood, Cariad, would you like to perhaps start your first lesson?
Cariad's gonna...
Alright. Alright. So, do you know the difference between cantrips and spells?
think I've heard of that,
Alright.
but I'm not entirely sure.
Alright, that's absolutely fine. So, and she'll pull out her wand, and she'll carve with So with the wand, she'll put it up to her ear, and she'll point at Cariad, and she'll say, "Now, what I'm doing now is I'm casting the cantrip message." And she'll stop. And she'll do it again. And then she'll stop, and then she'll do it again. She'll do it about 5 times. And she'll say, and then she'll throw in a firebolt and a blade ward. And for firebolt, she kind of just wheels her wand around and fires it into the sky. And blade ward, she actually quickly crosses an X across her chest with the wand. And she kind of gets a little blocky, like a PlayStation 1 RPG character to give her because it gives her resistance to slashing, bludgeoning, and
You
piercing
have
damage
the
for 6
Tomb Raider,
seconds.
the Tomb Raider, pointy boobs.
Yeah.
Resistance to slashing gives you PS1 graphics?
I assume it is she solidifies more.
Just look at that one polygon.
Like Red Riot?
Yeah. And she'll say, "What's great about cantrips is that you can cast them as many times as you want. No detriment to your well of magical abilities. Now, you should be able to cast a few of those. And,
How do I know what cantrips I have? And I'm gonna point, and I'm gonna cast one of my
Which one are you
cantrips.
casting?
Should I roll a... I only
Yeah.
have 2.
Yeah,
Flip a
flip a
coin.
coin.
Should I flip a coin?
Why do you?
I don't think I have a
Why do
coin.
you have cantrips?
I have
Why do you have
cantrips. So,
2.
somebody pick a number between 1 and 2. I don't have a
1.
coin.
2.
I'm the DM. I say 2.
I'm hearing 2 to 1. So
Two.
all right. I cast Toll the Dead.
Freya.
On
What does
Freya.
Freya have to do?
Oh my god.
Make you have to succeed a Wisdom saving throw.
3.
Oh my god, you're gonna kill your teacher.
18.
18.
Yeah.
You
hear little
absolutely
chimes.
succeed.
Oh,
Yeah, you hear bells fill the air.
okay. That could have been very bad. And she's gonna...
Sorry, I
No.
don't even know what that was.
It's brilliant. And she's gonna start flipping through her book, her spell book. She's gonna, look through
Yeah,
it.
it's beaming at those
She's
words.
gonna look at it, and she's like... So, the kind of magic that you should specifically be able to pull great use from is abjuration and evocation. Now, evocation is pulling the elements together so you can... And they're mostly used, to attack your enemies. So you're going to be able to pull fire and ice and lightning from, once you become a wee bit more powerful.
Would that be like your chromatic orb?
No. Chromatic orb is actually... oh, no, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking.
Or wizard, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen.
Yes, exactly, like chromatic orb.
I was hoping to learn that one.
Perfect. And she's gonna pull out a small, not small, but a bag, a satchel that she carries with her. And she's gonna say, now, wizards can choose between what they use to cast with. And one of them is a spell focus, and she'll hold up her baton wand. And she says, all this does is it just supplies the need for these. And she'll pull out the bag and open it, and it's just hundreds of different pouches. Cantrips don't really need components, but to cast Chromatic Orb, you need one of these. And she'll pull out a diamond, like a small diamond.
I'm used to playing D&D without needing components. I know it kind of breaks magic, but I forgot.
Only
components.
diamond
Don't
or
worry about
only
it.
gold worth components you need to use.
Yeah, well, for a Chromatic Orb, it's got to be a diamond worth at least 50 gold.
Yeah, gold costing component, yeah.
Yeah. So
I have a spell that takes up rope that won't be necessary.
Yeah,
As long as
no,
it
you'll
doesn't
need
say,
rope for
25
it.
gold pieces of rope.
No, it says it'll consume the rope.
Yeah, so then it consumes the... Well, okay, never mind then. Anyway, so she'll hold up the diamond and she'll say, now, it's been a wee bit since I've... I actually don't have the spell prepared today. But the basic gist of it would be you focus on this diamond. And by summoning the magical ability that's within you, that's actually within everyone. You would do this. And she shows you with the diamond the movements of the hand and the words needed to cast Chromatic Orb. But nothing happens because she doesn't have it prepared. And she's like, that's actually pretty good because I don't want to actually expend my spell slots. But if you have it prepared, you try it, and you will shoot Chromatic Orb.
Should I try it? And Cariad looks excited. There's a creeping smile growing on Cariad's
I
face.
think you should definitely try. And she'll look around and she'll be like, try hitting that tree over there. Maybe don't use fire. Maybe use cold. Maybe cold damage. But try hitting that tree over there. Practice the movements.
You practice the words I taught you.
Cariad will borrow the diamond from you. And I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb on a tree.
What element?
I'm going to roll a d6.
No.
Because I don't quite have control of my magic just yet. What's a 5? 5 is acid. Alright, acid damage. That's not so bad.
So you take the diamond and you tentatively say the words that Freya has said, and like in an instant, just like, and it splat and melts a hole into the middle of this tree, and then you hear as the tree topples into the woods.
I've found us a seat for tonight.
That was very good for a first try.
Holy shit! What the? We just chopping down trees now?
Yes, you should.
I'm doing magic.
I'm so proud of you, but can you do something that, might not alert every monster within, like, 5 kilometers of us to our location?
No.
Alright.
And throughout the next little bit, Freya will walk you through certain spells pertaining to abjuration and evocation, like magic missile and shield.
That's another one I took. Yay.
And after a bit, like just pouring through these papers that she's written throughout the day, she'll just be like, and she'll like close them in her spell book, and she's gonna say, for your first day, that actually wasn't quite bad. Oh, I remember the first spell I ever cast. I had just gotten my one. My dad gave me this one that I'm holding right here. And I was over the moon. I went running out into the square, swinging it around, trying to make things happen. Of course, I didn't know anything yet, so I couldn't. But then I flipped it in a certain way, and I shot some sparks out. And I was amazed until I realized that I hit a little boy with it. And his pants caught on fire. He was okay. They weren't crazy sparks, and the boy ended up being my husband. It's the first time we ever met.
It's very lovely.
Magic is a great thing, Ariad. You do a lot of things. And you bring people together. You can protect those important to you. You can also do very terrible things in our own heads. So, I understand you're excited, and I'm excited for you, and I will keep teaching you as long as you will have me. But we need to make sure that every time we do this, we do it safely, and you understand that in a snap, magic can get out of hand. Just want you to know that I'm very proud of you, and I look forward to teaching you some more.
Thank you for training me.
It's honestly my pleasure. Those two are back
Ariad's
with
gonna give you a hug.
And she's gonna give it back to her and like pat her on the back, and she's gonna see Ramses and Fenlo coming back with the firewood, and she's gonna say,
I wanted to jump over there.
"Oh,
So
yeah, sorry, go ahead."
They haven't gotten to do their
Ramses
shit yet.
Fenlo?
Finlo, where do you think we should look?
Probably trees.
Yeah, with the Ramsey kind of like looks a little like perplexed. Like, yes, but what tree? Does it make difference?
If you use pine, it takes longer to burn. You gotta find something dry like birch. If you use oak, it burns really nice, but again, it's a slow burn. You can find birch or ash, then that's the best stuff.
Please, lead the way. And he puts like a hand on like Fenlo's back and kind of like jolts him forward to take the lead.
I'm gonna cast light so I can see what I'm doing, and see. Oh, do I have dark vision?
You're an ASMR.
I don't think so.
Do you fucking have dark vision?
Do I? No, we don't.
Pretty
No, we
sure
don't.
ASMRs have dark vision.
We have. Oh, never mind. We do.
Really?
Never mind. My bad. No, I was like, why would I?
Gaslight me.
It gives me the.
Pretty much everything
It
but
gives
humans.
me the ability to cast light as a cantrip. I thought, why would it give me dark vision if it gives me something else to see in the dark with? But for Ramsey's sake, I will cast light so that they can see what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna try to find birch or ash and whatnot.
Oh, your magic is very nice.
You
You don't have to light it if you do not wish to, though.
I don't have to what? Sorry.
You do not have to light anything if you do not wish to. I will find my way just fine.
But then you can't see nice. All right.
Fenlo, make a perception check.
That's a 19. That's a pretty good roll.
Okay. They look at you and
I want to see if I can't see any birch or ash trees because those are the best.
Oh.
I just said ash
those
trees, and I
those
meant
are
ash.
around.
Yeah.
What do they look like, Finlo?
So the ash trees are they're white and they have, or sorry, no, the birch trees are white and they have little black specks all over the bark. But the ash trees all look kind of dead, and that's because of I know that. I mean, I guess it happened down here on the surface world too, but a bug kind of just took them all out at once.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay then. And Ramsey will like go about looking for either a white tree with black spots or a tree that looks like it's pretty much on its last leg.
Yeah, this forest has a few of them that you can take from and collect from. Spending time, you can do that. Get a heaping pile of burnable wood.
Mm-hmm.
And takes his axe out and just kind of starts hacking away at some of the lower branches.
Comes off easy enough.
Perhaps we get some tinder too, and he'll reach on the ground and like pick up like smaller pieces of wood that will probably burn a little easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can get the tinder. I probably can't get the big logs.
Oh, no worries. I will help. Fenlo, I have a question for you.
I might have an answer. It depends on what the question is.
Is this better? Before you said people make you worried. Is it easier to talk in smaller groups like this?
Remember
And
how,
like Ramsey just kind of looks at you with like this like very like relaxed expression.
remember how I said I might have an answer? This is one of those instances where no, I don't have an answer.
Okay. It is okay. Take your time to think, and maybe one day you will have the answer to tell me. And he just kind of smiles at Fenlo, and then walks back towards the group.
Alright. At this point, you guys arrive back. Tecton, did you want to do anything?
Yes, I would like to cast Mold Earth repeatedly around the camp, so that there's difficult terrain all around it, basically, in D&D terms. And I would also like to make a sort of a... I can do 5 feet, so I think it's reasonable to do like a 10-foot trench, maybe, around the area.
If you take the time that they're gone and
then
the spell casting is happening, you can definitely do that.
And then a bit of difficult terrain on, like, the outer perimeter of the trench, like outside.
Definitely.
Yeah,
you take that time. At that one, like, you're getting to the last ends of it, and you're like, there. That's when the tree comes down, just like... And you go over there.
Makes like a bridge.
Yeah, it makes a bridge over the moat, and you're like, God damn it. Alright.
When Ramsey and like Fenlo get back, Ramsey's gonna look at like Tecton's like handiwork, knowing that he's used Mold Earth before, and he's gonna turn to him and he's like, Tecton! I do not think we have time to farm! It'll take too long for the plants to grow!
Ain't no sunlight gonna reach us here. There's a
That's
canopy.
Exactly!
That's
Unless you cast the light cantrip very often.
I don't know. I don't know if it actually does sunlight. How are you gonna get water to your crops there, Mr. Tecton?
Well, Fenlo, they're not for crops. I don't know if y'all are joking or something. You guys are joking. But this is a perimeter. This is a defensive perimeter. So that, while we're sleeping, we don't get snuck up on, or, there's at least there's a decreased chance that happens.
That is very smart, Mr. Tecton. I think we will be much safer this way.
And maybe the next person that comes along, they'll start a little farm. Who knows?
Multi-purpose!
And
And he turns to Fenlo when he says that.
He knew that we were joking, right? I can't tell if, we were very clearly pulling his leg. I can't tell.
What?
Well, sometimes I can't tell with Ramses.
Can't tell what?
If you're joking or not joking.
Oh, when I joke, I normally laugh. When I hear a joke, I laugh.
There you go. See, Fenlo,
I misread then. My bad.
Misread what?
Nothing. No, it's this is fine. Misread a book yesterday.
Yeah, you're not keen on reading? Perhaps ask Freya there. They seemed quite keen on the reading books.
Is that book that you've been carrying around there? That big old yellow one?
Perhaps you can read it for us tonight. Good campfire story.
It has 3 lines to it in very chicken scratch writing. And it's just spells. It ain't very interesting.
If I am not pressing too hard, if you do not wish for me to see, I will stop. But may I see the book?
Yeah, sure. And I will hand them my the book of light shadows, I guess. I don't know what
so
we're
you
gonna
pull
call
out
this
the book that's held in your hand is this from the spine. It's red, and then as it kind of reaches up through the corners of the spine, it's like a sunset gradient coming up. The kind of corners of the book and like the spine and the corners of the book itself are like kind of gilded in a like a kind of silvery brass metal, and on the front is clasped in the same similar metal is the kind of symbol of Celestin.
This book looks like a family heirloom almost. It looks very valuable. For you, I am supposing.
Mom gave it to me.
Have you read the book? And Ramsey goes to kind of he gingerly touches the cover of it, in the delicate metals,
feels warm
to refine detail.
It
reminds me.
No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go
me
ahead.
Or you?
No, you.
He looks down at it softly, and he says, "It reminds me of the sun, the same warmth and the same gradient."
Can I take a look at that, Ramses?
It is not up to me, it is up to Fenlo.
Sorry there, Fenlo. May I see it for a moment?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much. I'd like to just flip through it, and then, DM, could I tell anything from the metal on the outside? Like, maybe if I recognize it, if it's native to Zalessin, or if it's from the surface world or something?
Make a history check.
That's a 12.
A 12? It looks like very simple brass, not very polished. They had brass up in Celestin. It doesn't seem like it's anything most notably like they've mined it or they created it there. It just seems like simple metal.
It's a well-made book. There you go. You have it back there.
Thank you, sir.
Would you still like me to identify it?
Yeah, just flip through it, make sure it's just a good quality book. Yeah.
Alright.
Well, this is
And she'll
happening.
take the book.
No, nothing.
While this is happening,
Oh, I thought you
Ramsey's gonna
said
start
what is
putting wood on. Sorry, Ramsey is gonna start putting wood on the fire pit and setting up
Sure. You can start setting up a fire, yeah.
Freya's gonna crack her fingers, and she's gonna take out her wand, and when she's gonna turn each page of the book with the tip of her wand, and she's gonna call over Cariad, and she's gonna say, "Now this is a ritual spell. This is one you can cast as many times as you want, as long as you take the time to cast it. And if you'd like to watch, I can show you." And she'll start flipping each page and tracing the lines of the pages with her wand tip. It doesn't take her very long since there's only 3 lines, but she'll keep flipping the book over, inspecting it with her wand. Every now and then she'll say some words, and as the 11 minutes pass, she casts Identify on the book.
When the spell goes off and you feel the kind of echo of energy you send out and push through the book hits and pulls back to you, you feel warm inside, like the sun on Celestin when you were walking around. It beats down on you, and you feel that sense of home pushed into it. And it's a spell book. It's just a spell book. That's it.
I don't think you have much to worry about.
That's...
Seems to be just a spell book that radiates warmth.
Yeah, Mom didn't explain what it was when she handed it to me, and then I opened it up, and then those 3 lines were there, and I was making sure it wasn't some extra test and whatnot. Yeah.
What languages do you speak, Freya?
Freya speaks Celestial, Common, Draconic, and Dwarvish.
There's remnants of cantrips in here, words of cantrips.
Any that I would recognize?
What are in the book?
In the book is thaumaturgy, word of radiance, and guidance.
Thaumaturgy. That's the only one you can really recognize. You have to take more time with the other ones.
Okay. It's a good book.
Alright.
I'm done for the night. I'm ready to just...
Yeah, Freya will cast Firebolt on the collection of sticks that Ramses put together and start the fire.
Good. I'm glad this will keep us warm. Unfortunately, I used my only blanket on my dead person. I do not have one now.
Why don't we just, whoever's taking watch, just give up their blanket, and then you sort of have a system of whoever's awake doesn't have a blanket.
That is very smart, but I will not ask people to do that. I can be perfectly comfortable with other things I have.
I was going to take first watch, so yeah, and I'm gonna toss you my bed roll.
You're too kind, my friend.
Okay, I'll take second watch if you're doing first.
Alright. And Karyad's gonna scurry up a tree.
Make an athletics check.
Athletics, please be good. That's a 22.
Doo-doo-doo, like a spider, just like...
Karyad's just so full of, like, she's fucking pumped. So she just climbs that tree, no problem.
Magic
And I'm gonna pull out my longbow and start, like...
Sure. Who's taking third watch?
I will take third watch.
So, Rams is gonna take third.
Actually, no, I don't want to.
Alright. I'll,
Can I take last watch? I am better at morning.
You want to
Freya
see
will
the...
take third watch.
Freya.
I'll go fourth then, if Ramses wants to see the sun and whatnot.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Karyad, as everyone goes to bed, can you please take a perception check for me?
Like the sound of that. It's gonna be an 8.
An 8? Okay, what would you like to do on your watch? Anything in particular?
She's just got her bow. She's just, like, scanning the forest back and forth like a security camera.
Okay. You are wired, just in general, of all the stuff that has just happened today.
She's fucking
You're
pumped.
still-
She's scanning, but her mind's, like, elsewhere. She's not...
Yeah. You're thinking about all the possibilities, the new things that what Raishnel and Freya have taught you today. Opens something that you've never thought you'd ever be able to get to.
She's gonna toss her scimitar down and pull it back to her hand, and she's gonna, like, yo-yo her scimitar a couple times.
You chuck it, and it comes back. And during your watch, for the first time, you have a little bit of happiness without sadness ebbing into it and taking it away. And you see the little chirps of the crickets and the nighttime creatures, the owls, the whoo, whoo. They drift off in the distance. Eventually you climb down and kick Tecton and wake him up.
Sorry, I thought I had a little more tact than that.
My turn.
It was like a malevolent force just made me do it.
Just fucking stomping.
Herb stomping to wake up.
Wake up stomp.
Doesn't everybody have that kind of alarm clock?
Oh my god, I'm up. Jesus.
A big buff half-elf woman stomping on them.
Yes, I wish.
Yeah.
Alright,
Tecton, please make me a perception check.
yep, I'm just going to take my shillelagh, like one of those Irish beat cops from like the 30s, and just do a patrol around.
Go for it.
That is 6.
What would you like to do during your watch?
I'd like to cast shillelagh on various things.
Okay.
Cast it on the dirt, make my bone club encased in dirt, cast it on a rock, and it's encased in rock. Just I don't know. Look at people.
Your bone?
I want to look at people when they're sleeping. Just like,
Okay.
look at them.
I'm gonna ruin your guys' sleeping character
here we
depictions.
go.
Here we go. You look at Karyad, and she's very stiff, like very clenched while she's sleeping. Freya is very like tucked in. Ramses is very like out everywhere. And Fenwell's snores. And your bone by the end of your watch looks less like a bone and more like a diorama from a second grade habitat project.
Oh, it's just a bunch of different
Debris
yeah,
touching.
yeah,
Yeah.
Was that a jab at me, Dungeon Master, by the way?
No. Never.
I believe you.
You go up and you punch Freya. I'm just kidding. Everyone's so aggressive when you wake each other up.
Give a little tap on the head with the club.
Yeah, clink, clink, clink. Freya, you wake up.
You're up.
You know, I don't like the idea of waking up to your face every day. I'm gonna have to get used to it.
I don't blame you.
She'll laugh a little bit, and then she'll start her watch.
All right, please make me a perception check. So many low rolls, I'm assuming, with your
2
face.
minus 1 is 1.
Okay.
As soon as she gets up, she doesn't even, look. She just gets up, starts writing in her book again. Starts, writing more, lesson plans and looking through her spell book, just...
We're already in the maw of a sandworm.
Yeah. she's just like, can you pass me
know
that?
what?
Can you pass me that extra ink bottle, bear? And the bear's just like
Crunch. No, it wasn't a natural one, so you didn't... Nothing bad happened. It was just... You're doing that nod thing where you're like... and then you wake up and you keep writing and you kind of nod off again, but eventually, you kind of fully get through your watch. And you go and wake up Fenlo and you're like, and then you just fall asleep immediately as head hit pillow.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay. My turn. Okay.
Make me a perception check, please.
That is an 11.
Alright, what would you like to do during your watch?
I want to look at anything that's flying, like bats and bugs and owls and whatnot, and I want to get all their styles down so I can try to figure out how to do this.
You see a couple mosquitoes,
I don't think I can do that.
and then they turn and come towards you, and one lands on your nose, and it as you blow away.
Man. Man.
Then your night kind of passes by uneventfully.
Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna...
And you go up and... What's that?
I was gonna look at my book just
Okay.
before I wake up Ramses and just flip through it and kind of wonder,
Okay.
where did I get this?
All
Why
right.
do I have this?
Sure.
Who gave this to me?
Yeah, all great questions. I'm not going to answer.
No,
you wake
I
up
know.
Ramses.
I don't mean to bother you, but, morning. I don't mean to bother you, whatnot, but, yeah, I believe it's your turn to watch and whatnot.
Yes, of course. And Ramsey kind of heaves himself up. With his forearms and standing, stretches his back a little.
Ramses, on your watch, when you are woken, you sit and watch as the sun kind of rises up through the horizon. The forest you have isn't as dense as, say, the bramblewood, but each little space through the tree line brings in a new ray of sun. The different reds, oranges, and pinks as the sky is meeting the sun once again in this morning. And as they each fall through and kind of rises past, catching your friends in their various sleeping position, the one happens to kind of pass through the tree line, just kind of in a perfect spotlight circle on the forest floor.
I think Ramsey would probably get up and go to enjoy the sunlight.
Okay. You step in and you feel this warmth pass over you. A pretty warm heat compared to the sun rays in the morning, especially for the chill temperature of the winter that you guys are currently in. But it isn't unbearable heat. It is, for you, comfortable. It feels like you are home, in a sense. the silence of the morning with the different birds starting to cry into the distance. You just take in and bask in this warmth. And then you feel like a presence, like you're being watched. And you turn and you see your friends are still asleep around you. But there's this lingering sense of being watched. And when you turn back to your original position, you see almost like a silhouette has appeared in the morning rays of light. And no matter how much you squint or try and focus on that, they just remain enough obscured out of view that you cannot get a full picture. However, you can tell they are stocky, muscular, long hair, and they do have, as they unfurl, 2 large sets of feathery wings.
Okay.
And then you hear a voice kind of pass in and echo through the distance.
Ramses, you walk many paths. You walk one as a destined council member to your kingdom, and you pass as something more sinister, and you also pass in through his warmth and light. But your faith can only carry you so far as a warrior for the Dawnfather. You must create your bindings to him to show your faith is put in the right place. Take a knee, Ramses.
Ramses looks a little shocked for a second, but doesn't question this and drops to a knee.
Show us how you intend to keep to your word. Show us your word is your bindings.
Ramsey takes a heavy inhale and exhale. His shoulders drop into a relaxed stance, but his face remains serious. And he says, I will accept the wisdom of any that will offer it, and I will also rule for the good of the many and not the few. I will right any wrongs that bring justice to those who need protection. And that is my binding. That is how I will stay true to the Dawnfather.
We trust that you acknowledge that this path has many laws, and these laws are what garner your bindings to this world. The law is paramount. It is the mortar that holds the stones of civilization together, and it must be respected. Do you understand this?
I will not stray, I understand.
Loyalty, your word, this word is your bond. Without loyalty, oaths and laws are meaningless. Do you understand?
I understand.
Courage. You must be willing to do what needs to be done for the sake of order, even in the face of overwhelming odds. If you don't act, who will? Do you understand this?
Ramsey swallows. I understand.
Responsibility. You must deal with the consequences of your actions, and you are responsible for fulfilling your duties and obligations. Do you understand?
Ramses looks heavy at where the eyes of this silhouette would be, and again he says with absolute certainty, I understand.
The trees whip around slowly, just gently swaying in the morning winds, but then they quickly pick up, swirling. The branches tilt and lean in different directions. You fear that they are going to break off in the different contorted directions that they are going in. You feel the heat of the sun fill your chest, a pressure there that slowly ebbs and fills your entire body through your arms, your fingers, every extremity below your waist, your toes, your feet, everything, and you feel this immense heat. Again, not burning, not uncomfortable, but there, pressure filling you. And you feel a sense of connection to Pelor, your chosen patron. Whether the silence sits, you feel like he is there with you, even in this moment, and the trees kind of gently curl to a stop. You see the wings of this silhouetted person unfurl further before they gently start to push back in motion to bring this person into the air.
Ramses, you are one of many now. Have faith in his word, have faith in your path. You will overcome it. Do not forget the oath you have made here today, young man.
And it gently drifts up into the sky, and you look up and you meet the sun through the horizon, and you cover your eyes as it begins to burn. And when you blink, the sun is less harsh, and the silhouette is not there anymore. But there is a small sense of foundation in your being.
Ramses rises from where he was taking his knee, and again, he takes a calming breath, and he kind of mutters to himself, I trust in Pelor and the decisions and guidance that they will have. I will remain loyal to my last breath.
Okay. And you make your way back to your group as they are beginning to stir and rise. Everyone can take a long rest as everyone begins to prepare for the morning journeys ahead.
Uno, dos, tres,
Choice? That's a pretty choice word.
No, choice.
quattro,
That's fucking choice.
That's pretty choice, man. I tell you
cinco,
what.
All right. Hi, everyone.
seis.
Welcome.
Oh, hi.
Shit, yeah, this is recording.
recording.
Welcome back, Intrepid Heroes.
Oh boy.
Troy.